Hey guys, this is a special, not one time, but this is a special kind of technique and run through of Mrs. Steck's suggestions for a well-rounded practice routine, just to kind of explain a couple of the newer exercises, which are a little bit maybe not easily. It's not easy to tell what they are based on what's written on the page. So I'm going to kind of give a demonstration for some of those different techniques. I'm going to start, and I'm going to do all of the different woodwind instruments in this video. So I'm going to do flute, clarinet, and saxophone. But I'm going to show you some of these special techniques. So first of all, I'm going to start out with the flute. And I'm just going to talk about the long tones using a couple of instruments, but this is going to go for all of you. Okay, so on flute, one of the first suggested exercises is making tone and seeing how long you can hold it for. Okay, and that's without putting any fingers down. We had one where we'd use the head joint. At this point, I think we can move away from that and just use the whole body of the instrument. We're not going to worry about putting fingers down. I do want to practice holding it though, because holding it, even if I'm not worrying about where my fingers go, if I hold it there as opposed to this is a lot easier, which is great. But you'll notice that it's a lot easier for me to hold this in the right position. Once I put my hands in the right spot, even if I'm not worrying about the fingers, I tend to dip down a little bit, okay? So we want to keep the flute up here. And I'm just going to play as long as I can, not worrying about changing notes, just hanging out. Trying to make a nice medium sound, not super loud, but you definitely want it to be not whisper quiet either, okay? So we're working on getting good tone so that it sounds pretty and crystalline like a flute should. Okay, and we're going to see how long we can hold that. Clarinets and saxes, you'll do the same thing. It's just a little bit different because you don't have to worry so much about the placement of the instrument up and down. So here we go. So long. I'm going to switch over to the clarinet and talk about another exercise. This is a good one. Just go ahead and go down to the clarinet part. So what I like to see is people doing long tones on all of the notes that they know. So that means you do it more than just that one note. So flutes, you would then do that long tone on all of your notes, just like I'm going to demonstrate on the clarinet. Starting with the lowest note that we have so far. Right now, that's B natural. So it's all the fingers on the top and B. Flutes, yours is A. So it's just on your left hand, thumb, 1 and 2, and the pinky on the right hand. Okay, but I'm going to try to play and hold every note that I know so far. And just see at a nice, easy, medium volume and see how far I can get. Yeah. Okay, and I'm not going to do every note. I'll do a couple. I'm not going to go all the way up all the notes that I know. And then you would go ahead and continue that. If that is super easy, and for me it's still not 100%, although I would still add this next bit for an additional challenge. Instead of holding each note at one single dynamic level, a nice, easy, medium, loud, what I want you to do to challenge is start as soft as you can without the note not speaking, so not coming through. And I'll show you on flute as well. But I'm going to play at a nice, at a nice soft dynamic level. Then I'm going to gradually get louder. And when I feel about half of my air is gone, I'm going to turn around and start getting soft again. Okay? And I would do that for every note that I know. So it sounds like this. Sorry, no register key. And then I would do that for all of the notes that I know. Flutes, you guys have to be careful because if you blow too fast while you're crescendoing, your flute will jump up and try to play the top note. So if I start on A, actually I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to start on B flat. And you hear at the end how my air started running out and the note kind of started to bend down a little bit. That's a good indication that I don't have as much air as I thought I did. And on flute, you won't be able to go as long with these exercises because you lose most of your air over top of the tone hole. Okay, but we get louder. Start as soft as you can. So I'll go to C. And then I would continue through all of the notes that I know. Okay. Clarinets, what you also can add is playing with the register key. So you can do all the notes you know, do the lower note first. So if I'm doing B, and it doesn't matter what the top note is, because it's not going to be another B. Saxes, you'll have something like this. I'm going to put down the fingering for B, and then I'm just going to flick the register key on the back without moving my thumb away from that hole. This is just a practice getting used to going over what we call the break. Okay, the break just means playing, over the break means playing high notes. Then I'll go up to the next note. So I'll go from B to C. Then I go to the next one. Yeah, not too fast, Mrs. Steck. Now, my fingers are tweaking out because I'm not concentrating on keeping them rounded like I should. What I need to do is more like this. Where I keep my fingers down and close to the keys. Okay? And then I do all of the notes like that. And just practice playing those high notes. Okay? It really helps to get the lower note nice and solid first. Saxes, you'll have something, and I'm just going to use my soprano because it's right here. Oh no, I got my alto. Never mind. One sec. So altos, you're going to do something similar, and you're going to put those down. You're going to use the octave key on the back. Okay, you don't have to worry as much as the clarinets do about making sure that your thumb doesn't come off of this little black rest. Totally fine if it does, but you shouldn't be letting your thumb come way off because then you won't be able to come back to it as easily. So I can do the same thing. And I'm just going from, so say I'll go from G, and this is another G on the top. Doesn't matter though, we're just practicing using the key. So G, put the octave key. Okay, so you're going to practice using that for your high notes. And then, last but not least, so I just kind of want to go through the rest of it and talk through. So that's kind of those warm-up exercises that I think might have been a little bit tricky to what does Mrs. Steck actually mean? Gone through that. I just want to talk through some of these others. So note review, what would be really great is if you not only, as you go through, talk your way through each of the notes. So you play 1, 2, 3, that's G. So as you're playing G, say G or think G. A, B, C, D, D, E, F sharp. Okay, so make sure that you're going through those. And then after that, go through and find each of those notes on the music staff. Okay, so practice finding, go through your music. When you put the fingers down, find a G on the page that you're looking at. Find an A on the page that you're looking at. Find a B. Really get used to what those look like on the page. Going through some of the rest of the things, practice tech from the technique book that we have. You can either use the videos that I have up for tutorial, or you can work on your own. Either way is fine. You can play with, again, the tempos on your playback feed for the YouTube videos, just in case things are either too fast or not challenging enough, and you want to speed them up. And then, of course, create a playing time. The rest of it is fairly self-explanatory. But I wanted to make sure you guys understood some of those first couple of exercises that I was talking about, because otherwise I worry that maybe you would not know what they are and then avoid them. They are very important. Long tones are the fastest way to get to where you sound really good on your instrument. They're not fun. And when you first start them, they don't sound good either. But as I said, they are the fastest way to make yourself sound better at the instrument that you are playing. You'll be able to play new higher material in all of your instruments much faster, and you will be able to learn your notes if you're taking a lot quicker and keep them under your fingers, more so than if you just ignore naming the notes. I guarantee. Like, I am not a huge fan of wasted time. I will not give you these exercises if they were not very, very useful. And I teach not only beginning through high school, I also teach at the college level. And I know that my college students struggle with good tones sometimes because they do not do their long tones. So it is super important for all ages. If you guys start this habit as beginners, you are up on the college students. That is super, super important. Okay, so long tones, play with registers. Flutes, what you guys can do, you can play with registers too. Like my B flats, then C. As you go, you'll find they start to get harder. But it's good practice because at some point you are going to have this high F. And I know for me, because I haven't played flute very long and I haven't done as many of these exercises, it's kind of hard. If you do it all the time, it gets very easy. Okay, so it's just about practice. So jump octaves, long tones, especially long tones where you start soft and then grow gradually and then come back down. This is going to increase your airflow, make your tone sound better, and just make you a better musician. So super cool, right? All right, that is all that I have for this video. Watch out for more tutorials coming for pages 14 and 15 in the weeks to come. All right, bye guys.